Hi, Joe. Thank you so much for joining today.
You're welcome.
Joe, so we're here today just to talk a little bit about your journey, your experience at Solihull at UHB. So, why don't you just get us started and tell us a little bit about yourself for our listeners who don't know who you are?
Okay. My name's Jo Blake. I'm matron here at Solihull. I've look after the areas of theatres and pre-op assessment for all of HGS.
Mm-hmm.
And also I look after EPOC, which is an enhanced post-operative care unit. I started my life here at Solihull when I qualified 26 years ago.
Wow, that's incredible.
And I did my training at Coventry and I applied to the trust. I had no jobs at Heartlands and they asked, would you like to go to Solihull? I said, well, why not? It was down the road. And I started here as, back in those days, it was D grades. And I progressed up to sister. And then I had the opportunity, I was based in theatre, sorry, and I specialised mainly in orthopaedic scrub. So I was a scrub practitioner. And then I had the opportunity for a secondment to go over to theatres at Good Hope. So I was there for 6 months looking after orthopaedics and urology as specialties. And then fortunately I was able to get a permanent post here back on the Solihull site and was able to progress here for another three years at band 7, and then the opportunity came to go over to Heartlands and be a band 7 theatre manager over there, and I looked after day case unit and the trauma and gynae theatre as it was then. And I did that for about a couple of months, and then the opportunity arose to go into operations. And so I applied for an ops job, working for theatres and anaesthetics, mainly theatres with pre-op assessment, and I did that for about a year. And it was good because as much as you work within theatre, it was nice to see the other side, the operational side of the service and how it works. And of course, I was a bit dubious applying, but I was encouraged, and they said, Joe, you know how theatres work, you know how it sleeps, it eats, it drinks. The other things you can learn. A lot of the basics you'd have to train someone, but you've already done most of that because you know it already, because you already work within the service.
Wow.
So I did that for a year and I was happy doing that, and I was thinking about, you know, maybe instead of just being a service provider, be a service user. And maybe do a specialty, which I didn't get the opportunity to do because then a post came up for matron at QE. So I saw the advert, I didn't apply, went on holiday, came back, and the advert was still out again. So I thought, well, maybe it's meant to be. Maybe I should
waiting for you.
That's how it felt. So I thought, you know what, I will apply because at the time, matron's posts for theatres were like gold dust. So I applied, and I just thought I'd just go see what the interview's about, and then I was successful. I wasn't expecting to be.
Wow.
And I just went for the experience, really. Then that's how I got into the role of matron. And it was hard because I was at Heart of England, as it was probably back then, for 15, 16 years. And, you know, it felt like you were going to a whole different organisation, as it was then. But who was to foresee that we were going to amalgamate?
It all came together,
Anyway, so I got a post in theatres as a theatre matron then. Obviously, they were a very big site. Lots of theatres. I looked after, at the beginning, orthopaedics, ENT, the hand service over there, and interventional radiology, which was across all sites.
Wow, and then you moved over to...
And I had a year out where I was supporting the building of the Harborne Hospital from a theatre perspective. So I was asked if I wanted to support that.
Yeah.
So I did that for about a year. And then we were starting coming out of COVID, setting up Good Hope theatres. So the matron that was looking after Solihull and Good Hope needed to focus her attentions on one site. And then at the time, Fiona asked me whether I wanted to come to Solihull to support with the new build and to be able to release the matron to focus on setting back up Good Hope. So that's how I came back here. So, yeah.
What an incredible journey, Jo. First of all, congratulations, and kudos to all the work you've done. It's very inspiring. We want to talk a little bit about the diversity you've seen. You've been here a long time. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like when you first started to how it is now, and the experiences you've had, both good and bad.
Well, when I first started, there was probably only a couple of black nurses, and there was one Asian gentleman, and that was it. And that was it for many years in theatres. And then we started to experience international recruiting. And we had some nurses who came from South Africa and also from India. And at one point, we even went out to Portugal.
Okay.
And we went to Portugal, went to 3 parts of Portugal, and we actually got some Portuguese nurses who came over. And that was quite interesting because you don't realise how nursing is treated in other countries. And they have a lot of nurses, but they only offered them short-term contracts. So it was really refreshing to have Europeans come over into the nursing workforce. For myself, I think because of the demographics of Solihull, you expect there to be quite a large workforce which are Caucasian. And and if it was at Heartlands, the demographics would be different.
It's very
again
different.
in those theatres. And for me, I found everybody was very welcoming, and there was never any issues that I felt that I experienced from a racial point of view. But it was nice to have that diversity start to trickle in. And obviously with the hub, we have had all nations come in, and I never would have thought that in my nursing lifetime that I could probably walk into my recovery and that everybody's from, say, Zimbabwe or from India or from the Philippines.
It's incredible.
It is incredible.
So would you say that international recruit, or that initiative to start that, actually helped bring fresh perspectives? I mean, you must have seen that firsthand, because you said when you first started, there's very few people, and now there is this diversity. What do you think that's brought to the trust?
I think it's brought some appreciation for other nationalities, and especially when it comes to caring for the patients. I think it's great to be able to bring in people's life experiences, because we've got a lot of international nurses who've got a lot of life experiences. We've got some who in the past have been teachers, they've worked in other areas, and I think sometimes you can devalue what internationals can bring to our workforce, and also to the care that they can bring to the patients. And I think that's something which I think has been really special. And I think it's nice that we can now celebrate different national days as well. So I think there's a lot to be said, and there's a lot that we can learn from other people.
Absolutely, there is, and I love the point that you said, about celebrating differences. We're all different. We all have our own differences, and coming together and celebrating that is what makes Solihull so special, and UHB so special, I guess. Can I ask, because we're speaking about diversity, and you've explained very nicely that transition we've had, what does diversity mean for you personally?
I think for me personally, it's about being heard
Mm.
and being valued in your perspective that
Mm.
you'd like to share.
Yeah.
I think sometimes when there's a lack of diversity,
Yeah.
that you only see and you only hear one version,
Yeah.
when actually there's quite a few different versions. It may not come out the same
Yeah.
and may
Yeah.
not be seen the same, but I think there's value in having a different perspective. And I think
Yeah.
what we're learning from having such a diverse workforce,
Yeah.
that there isn't just one way of doing things, there's not just one way of thinking
Yeah.
about things, and it's great to value everybody's perspective.
Absolutely, it's about valuing people's perspective and the experience that they bring in from their background. Talking about background, then, what aspects of your identity are you most proud of? What do you bring to work? What aspects of your identity would you say?
Oh, I don't know.
This
I
could be your personal traditions, culture, things that are important to you, things that you brought into work and shared.
I think I from my own experience, my parents used to work here
Okay.
when I was small.
Yeah.
My mum used to work in the maternity unit when
Yeah.
it was here. She was a support worker.
Yeah.
And my dad used to be a porter here many,
Okay.
many years ago.
Yeah.
And to me, I think they were always proud of working
Yeah.
at Solihull.
Mm.
They always enjoyed working at Solihull
Mm.
and were able to develop good friendships, good relationships with people that they've worked with. And I think that that's a part that I'm happy that I can be part of when I come to work. Those good relationships, those good friendships, which have stood the very long test of time. There have been nurses who have retired now, who used to be the senior sisters that I looked up to back then, that we still have relationships with. We still meet up, we still, you know, talk about the good old days, and they've influenced how I have become as a manager. And you always take the good and the bad from the managers that you meet in your life. And I think I've met some really good role models who I hope that my managers would be able to say that actually Joe is firm and fair. And I do my utmost to value and bring everybody along if there's something that we need to do together. It's teamwork.
Teamwork, absolutely, Joe. You have an incredible story. I'm, fascinated by hearing it, inspired by hearing it. What advice would you give to someone from an underrepresented background starting their career here?
I think you need to go in with a very open heart. I think take everybody at your own face value. I think it's fine to listen to what other people think, but I think you have to judge your experience with that person from what you take from them. I think it's easy to be swept up in what you hear from other people, but you have to make your own judgments. I think that there are opportunities for everybody. You have to be able to be vocal and to have a plan. And there are many people who are here that can help you and guide you and support you if you have a journey that you know where the end goal should be. And I think it's about being really clear about what you want to do and being able to seek those opportunities, whether people like it or not, whether you're ruffling feathers or not. These are your feathers. If you want to ruffle them, ruffle them.
I like that.
You need to know where you want to be. And there are many people who can help you on that journey.
I like that. It's about asking, isn't it? Many times we fear asking for help, but when we know where we want to be, if we ask, then we get the support that we need. I mean, from a lived experience, I've experienced that. So that's really good advice. Thank you. Just to wrap up, then, Joe, if you could change or improve one thing about the workplace, just to make it a bit more inclusive, what would it be?
I think there's always room for improvement. I think that we're never going to be perfect, and we may be perfect for maybe 70% of the workforce, but there'll always be that 30 who they're not really ever happy. But I think it is about how we tap into those staff, because I feel that 30% can really influence the 70% that are happy. So I think there's always loads of work that we can be doing in communicating, sharing, valuing, and just listening.
Listening. I was just going to say listening. I think listening is a really important way of making them feel heard. And I think what we're doing today is one tool to do that. So if there's anyone out there in that 30% that want to share their story, that want to share their challenges, they can come along and record a podcast with us. But Joe, it's been fantastic having you here today. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Is there anything you want to say before we wrap up? Anything you want to leave our listeners with?
No, I just think that Solihull is a wonderful place to work. We've got lovely new facilities, and for the community and for the staff and for the patients, it's going to be a wonderful experience when you do come, and we will want to do even more and be even better.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.